Welcome to the Gold Medal Excellence Podcast. I'm your host, Alexander Payne, along with my co-host, Chris Asher.
Hi, how are you guys?
Awesome, great. So we're going to start up a podcast for Gold Medal Excellence's program. I think this would be a great opportunity for you to talk about different stories and different ideas and advice for coaching and recruiting and different topics. So this is going to be a good one.
Oh, this is perfect. Thank you, Alexander. So first thing I want to say is thank you, Alexander. I know I said it once again, but I think this is something we can be beneficial to everyone and we can expand on a lot of topics. So let's just do a basic topic. Let's do round one.
Yeah, thank you again for all those who are tuning into the podcast. This is going to be a good thing that we're going to do. This is a great cornerstone of our Gold Medal Excellence program that we're just going to build it from the ground up. So on this first episode, we're going to bring on Billy Taylor, the father of William Taylor III, who is a star freshman football player. Chris, tell me more about William Taylor.
I get a lot of parents to call me about their kids and they say, oh, my kid is good or they're not, they're really good or they're not good, whatever. But I had a parent, this guy, Billy Taylor, called me. He said, we've moved to California and my son is a really good football player. And I don't want to say I discounted it because I do get that from parents. Oh, my kid is good, but they kind of showed up at the track where we were training, and I was like, oh gosh, this kid he looks exceptional for a ninth grader. So I mean, he ended up playing at Bellflower High School, being a varsity starter as a freshman, having 1,000 yards rushing. I've had a lot of really good athletes in my career as a coach. I've had a lot of highly advanced athletes. I don't think I've ever had a ninth grader as highly advanced. I would say at least in the strength department, being strong, physically strong as William Taylor. So that was my first thing. Was like, I can't believe how strong this kid looks for a ninth grader. And I actually started showing videos of him to colleagues or coaches and be like, look at this ninth grader I got. And all of us kind of were saying the same thing, like, wow, this ninth grader looks like that.
Nice. So you've had a few athletes come who have moved from other places to California. One of them, just off the top of my head, was Philip Wesley. So tell me about how often you get those clients who have moved to California to maybe they feel like that could get their best competition and most exposure. So how attractive do you think that is a move for people to move to California from other states?
I believe you have a few states that have potential for parents and athletes to grow and be successful, to get opportunities. I don't know if those parents necessarily moved here because they were promised anything or whatever. I think California's a great just state in general. They may have job offers, they may have opportunities, but what you do see is a lot of out-of-state kids starting to come here. Maybe the outdoor weather is better, year-round training. A lot, it's a lot more of a full-time year-round training job. So what I'm getting at, if you're in New Jersey and your son is a football player and it's snowing all the time, and there's not an indoor facility there for him to train at, it's not going to be conducive for him to be as good as a player in California where the weather is good year round. So I think you have people that move out here for the chances for them to train, to get better, all that. So that's kind of my opinion on that. It definitely helps. And you see those kids develop, but it's all like where they are and where they're going.
Nice, nice. So nowadays, the transfer portal has become a popular type of move for a lot of college kids. A lot of kids just transfer to multiple schools. Very few kids nowadays stay at the same school for 4 years. So what are your thoughts on the transfer portal and this kind of new trend of transferring?
Well, let's start with the transfer portal. Let's start with the pros and cons. For years, a university controlled where a kid could go to school at. If a kid said they wanted to transfer, then the kid could transfer, but they had to sit out minus a year. So many schools wouldn't take a kid if they couldn't transfer a free penalty. They didn't want to pay for a kid to sit out and then transfer. So the powers kind of come into the balance of the student athlete, which really were the student athlete's the product. This is something people say to me, "Oh, I don't understand this or that." The school, there's no football team without the athlete. There's you. The athlete is there, and everything is supported around the athlete. It's supported around the university, the football team, but the athletes are athletes. You have to have the best athletes to perform. Um, you have to have the best athletes to get the biggest recruits, the best coaches, et cetera, these programs. So when you talk about this transfer portal, I think what happens is a lot of these kids, they get to these schools and they're maybe not starting at that school, like in Ohio State or Georgia. And then they're like, okay, I'm not starting here. I'm not going to play here. For me to move on a professional level, I'm going to have to go down to a lower ranked school, maybe a Fresno State, maybe a San Jose State. And what happens with that transfer portal is it becomes a trickle down effect and an upper ground effect. So if you're not playing at Alabama, you go to Fresno State. If you're playing at Fresno State, you go to Alabama. But long story short, it helps the kids because the kids can transfer wherever they want. And really it happens off their ability level. So if you're a first year freshman and USC did not recruit you, I want to go to USC, I want to go to University of Southern California, the Trojans, but you didn't get recruited by USC. And then you go to Fresno State and you have a phenomenal freshman season. And you show that you are like one of the best freshmen in the Western United States, the country. Then that USC school goes, I want this guy. He's better than all the guys starting for my team. And you can immediately go to a USC transfer. You can start getting NIL money. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot more stuff we'll talk about later.
Yeah. And speaking of which, when you talk about that player empowerment era that has been going on in the last few years, one of the biggest, most talked about ones is NIL, name, image, likeness. This was forced in the Supreme Court, not the NCAA decided to do it. It was forced in by court law. So tell me more about just the fundamentals of NIL for young college student athletes who are interested in profiting off their name, image, and likeness.
I'm not an expert, but I've always said that athletes, if they could earn money off who they were in college, they should. Because there's many of these athletes would never, and I would hear the argument, oh, they get a college scholarship, all that. Okay, yes, you get a college scholarship, but if you're Reggie Bush at USC, do you know how much money Reggie Bush made USC? He made them an absolute. I can't even tell you how much money he made them. And if you sit back and say, well, Reggie Bush got this scholarship, he was there to get a degree. We can say all this stuff. He was there to play, to dominate as a football player, to be the best player he could. His focus was on football. I'm sure he had some focus on academics, but what I'm saying is the benefit that he provided that university was much more than his scholarship. And so when people say, "Oh, well, he got a scholarship," okay, he did get a scholarship. So, so for the athlete, the student athlete, they're in a power position. They should get as much money as they can. Their lifespan as an athlete is so short. They get hurt. They don't. Maybe you're that high school kid and you're phenomenal as a quarterback in high school, and you just don't make it as a pro. But all these teams want you, and they're willing to pay it. Yes, get as much money as you can. Get the bag, as they say. So, absolutely, that's my opinion on it. It's been my opinion on it, and the only ones that are going to get paid are the people who are good enough to get paid.
According to Bleacher Report, Reggie Bush would have made in between $4 to $6 million per year in
So
today's
what was
dollar.
his USC scholarship? Let's say his USC scholarship at maximum, and I'm sure I know the numbers. at maximum for 4 years, it was probably $100 to $125,000. So let's say it was $500,000. So Reggie Bush, USC, three. I mean, do we need to do numbers?
Let's just say $5 million in name, image, likeness revenue potentially, just for simple math.
Mm-hmm.
And then 500, and then the full boat and tuition and room and board is 500K.
Well, they don't even count that. That's just part of it. It's almost like Reggie Bush was worth $5 million. I think we just said, and that was, what year was that, Alexander?
2004.
It's 2023. What would Bush be worth for USC now?
Oh, that was in today's dollars.
Oh, so okay. So same things. All right. So, but he's 5 million. That's what I'm saying. The athlete's worth so much more, and they weren't getting that. They weren't getting it, and now they are. Now they can get it in high school. Now they can get it through the recruiting process. Now, if you're a low-level kid and you're not as good a recruit, you can also get that by going to a lower level school and transferring to a higher school. So the good school. So right now, this is what happened. If you were a freshman and you were going to USC and you were a developmental guy, they're not even taking you anymore. They don't want you. They'll just, what they'll do is be like, okay, who's the best guys in the transfer portal? We want to win a national title. Okay, you know what? There's a guy from Georgia, or there's a guy from Fresno State. He has great stats. We're going to take him. Or we're a guy got a lower level school, and they're just going to keep upgrading. So
the other cornerstone of recruiting nowadays is social media. It's not just go out and play. You have to also have a presence in social media that does make an impact in your recruiting stock. So tell me more about the importance of social media in recruiting.
I mean, you have college athletic departments that's a huge part of their budgets. They've got staffs totally entitled to that or working towards that on social media. I tell parents this, like, you have to be on social media to be effective and successful. So I'm older. I tell people that I'm older. I go and I feel like I can't coach and train clients and be on social media at the same time. And so for me, it's even more important for me as being a coach or business or a school, where if a coach can't do it, you have to have it. So social media is something you just absolutely have to have. The better your social media looks, the more followers you have, the better the performance. So the analytics, the statistics show that. So I don't think there's any doubt on it. And long story, what I'm saying is, if you don't have social media, you're losing. You're just not. You're not anywhere in the market you want to be, unless you're one of those businesses where you just don't want to be on social media and you just want to have one or two clients or so. But for the most part, you absolutely have to be on social media. You have to know what's going on. And if you do not know what's going on, you need to have a team that knows what's going on, and you're paying that team and to move forward and be successful. And as a big time recruit, for a lot of recruiting, I'm going to say this. And I've said this before. You need to, if you're a quarterback and you have 300,000 followers, and you're getting compared to a quarterback that has 3,000 followers, you're going to just appear to be more successful. You're going to appear to be better, uh, because that's just how the world works right now. So it's a must.
We're joined by Billy Taylor and his son William. Thank you guys for coming on the program.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So Chris, I'm going to give the floor to you. Tell me about how you met the Taylor family and their prospects in football.
I get a lot of, as a business owner and coaching for years, I get a lot of people that reach out to me, and some people, some people say, hey, I'm good, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. But I'll be honest, for the most part, Billy reached out to me and he said, hey, we moved out here from out of state, and I got a son, he's really good. And I heard some things about you. I like to bring him out and have you see him. And I'll be honest, for me, I just was like, whatever. I hear that all the time. I honestly do. So I was like, whatever. And then, you know, I'll be honest, they showed up and I was like, wow, I've never had a freshman look like this. And I've had a lot of good athletes. I've coached a lot of players, and I was like, wow, I've never had a freshman look like this. So immediately I was like, they're very serious. They are committed to what they're doing. And so for me as a coach, I'm as committed as a parent, and I'm even more committed if I see the kid working hard. So I just was like, I want to do anything I can to help this family or whatever. So I just I don't think I did anything but try to coach him the best of their ability. But I did just try to give him some advice and say, hey, I think, you know, there's some things I can do can help you in a recruiting cycle, recruiting portal, or whatever advice I have to have. I just would give it to you, and I just tried to help them where I can.
Billy and William, I've got a few questions for you guys. Just want to talk about your journey and what you've been up to lately and kind of what your plans are for the future. So you started out in Illinois and then recently moved down here to Southern California. So tell me more about what shaped that decision to come out here.
We started out in Northern California. We used to live in Northern California. We're from Illinois. We moved to Northern California. And then from Northern California, we started taking football really seriously. So I wanted to put him in the right position. And we started traveling during COVID to camps throughout the United States. We did offense, defense. We did the Brett Cooper All-American. And then in 2020 of December, he ended up breaking his leg. So he had a real big injury December 2020. And we knew right there and then this kid is seriously dedicated to football. He started, you know, just the way he acted, the way he took care of his recovery. He started training, and we put him in the right spot to get him where he needs to be. Like, we moved to South Carolina, basically as soon as that happened, and then we put him with a team of trainers. They were like everybody, you know, like from plyometrics to speed, strengthening, core, everything that you need to get better at football. He did it, and he was very dedicated. You know, he didn't go out much. He didn't really do anything besides live and breathe training and kind of try to heal from this injury.
Kind of rebuilt myself for my ankle and my overall health and how my body is, and just kind of trying to strengthen everything.
Yeah, and then from there he worked really hard, and then we had an opportunity. I had an opportunity for a job to come out to California from South Carolina, and then we took that, and he went into a great school. He had a great season, and then
I decided so after the season, I did pretty good. The coaches were phenomenal. They're really good coaches. Shout out to Keith Miller and
Jason Miller for sure.
But I after the first season though, I transferred to Orange Lutheran, which I felt would just bring me to the next level, more like a college standard instead of a high school standard.
Yeah, we had to make a move. So when we first got here, we had to make a move to basically come and help my grandfather. So we moved over to his house and we're helping him. He's very old right now. So once we got in over there, we moved, and then he had an opportunity at Orange Lutheran, and basically for academics, a better football program, kind of basically everything. It was just overall
more college like.
Yeah,
which is gonna help in the next level instead of kind of just high school. I can have to like adapt. I was kind of already there.
Yeah, it's like a prep school basically.
Oh no, that's just, and you guys mainly said it. The main thing is just family first. You guys had family. You know, you guys were out here for family, and this opportunity opened up, but you got to be out here for your family. So that's phenomenal that happened. I I've just said like you're very impressive. I challenge. So I'm sitting here and I'm able to work with him once in a while. and usually once a week or whatever. And he's got a bunch of coaches and stuff. But I've said he's a phenomenal talent if he keeps working hard. There's a lot of things he has to continue working hard, but I tell people that I was a college head coach. I know who gets scholarships. I know who, as long as he keeps doing it, he could be a 4 to 5 star recruit. But they're already committed to it. So what I wanted with this podcast was to say, I get a lot of parents go, well, what do you got to do to go to USC? And what do you got to do to go here and here? I'm like, you have to be committed to it. You have to be committed to the game. You have to be committed 24/7. You have to be committed. No school. When I was a head coach, I wasn't giving anyone a scholarship. I tell people that you weren't getting anything. You had to earn that thing. And then once you earned it, you have to keep it. So I always try to tell Billy and William, oh, you guys are at this school. This is phenomenal. They're gonna challenge you more. So Alexander, any questions you have? I'm like, now they're at Orange Lutheran. I don't know anything about that, but I know it's a better level of competition. Now you got to really step up to the game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the way to do that,
I feel like I've prepared myself with all my trainers and kind of just working out and getting stronger, trying to get faster, like more agility and type.
Yeah, we have you. You're getting them faster, Chris. We really appreciate you. We got Les Spellman Performance. He's on our side. We got Dylan Bradley out of EBS Sports
for agility,
plyos.
Plyometrics, helping a lot.
The school's got a great strength and conditioning program right now. It's incredible.
Gym's really nice, and we all have a structured workout system. It's not like you come in there and make up some stuff. It's all structured. It's really nice work.
I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna say this, and you guys can tag me on this. Tag, do whatever you guys do. I don't know what you guys do social media wise. I'm gonna say this. I was the head track and field coach at Cal LA. We were a top 10, top 20 national team. I had one athletic trainer at the school and maybe an assistant. And people don't get that. I had one. He's at Orange Lutheran. They got, how many trainers you got?
We got
4, right?
Yeah, we got 3 to 4.
They got college level programs with these high schools now. That's what I be telling these cats. They got I would go to meets and the trainer wouldn't even travel with me sometimes. They'd be like, I just don't have one this week. And what I'm saying is these guys, he's gonna be successful because he has so all the stuff I say, he has everything in his power to be successful. He's got these trainers, he's got these whirlpools, he's got this, he's got that. And that's why I always challenge him. And I'm like, you have no excuse not to be successful. And he is. When he goes to work. So I said he goes to work. But I just want to tell people that because people be like, oh man, you had it made, you're a good coach, you had this. I'm like, there was days there were just weeks. There was, hey, what's your athlete getting? They're getting ice today. Their hamstring hurt. Go get some ice.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy they got all the things necessary for them to be successful and perform.
Yeah, he takes his rehab quite seriously too. He's always getting acupuncture. He's always doing sports massage, deep tissue massage.
I'm drinking my BCAAs.
Yeah, shakes, ton of water a day, gallons a day. Always staying on top of it. Always with the ice. I don't know.
Kind of just doing all the things you need to do to stay right. And if I'm hurting, I make sure to push myself enough, but not enough I'm going to hurt myself fully because that would be the worst thing possible.
Yeah,
and then after training or if I'm at football, I'm working out, I got a little strain or anything, I ice it always, take a hot bath, soothe the muscle, make sure it's right. I'm not going to go have it hurt and then just walk around with the hurt leg or whatever, like nothing happened and not do anything to it.
Yeah, he limits his social life. He's completely focused on the game.
I'm grinding towards college and everything. And I'm not doing it because my dad wants me to do it. I love what I do, and I enjoy training and playing football. So it's not like a job you hate, but it's like a job I love and it's enjoyable for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's great that you focus on your training program and are very diligent about that. Had a couple questions for you, William. So you've had a major injury, which is very tough to a tough message to receive and tough news to take, but you've worked so hard in recovering from that, attacked it so hard. So how much does recovering from an injury make you a better competitor?
One, when I broke it first, it was just a really, really hard challenge to come back. Took me almost like 9 months, I want to say, to just fully be there mentally and physically. And it's still to this day like something I still think about, but I know it's in the past. And I know my ankle's so much stronger. And I think just knowing that you can get injured like that makes me want to take my training and recovery even more serious, because I don't want that ever to happen again. And if it does, which it won't, I'll still have to push through it and get back at it.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes like freak accidents are out of guys' control, but for those like nagging aches and pains, such as like being stiff or not flexible, that's no excuse for us as players. We have to be diligent, doing flexibility training, eating right, sleeping right, and keeping our body sharp, and then just hope we don't get into those freak accidents like those broken bones or legs, and then after that, it's just the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also looking, so even though we're stretching and everything, we're still looking for like a chiropractor to like adjust my back and keep me in line also. And like a stretch therapy place in South Carolina, there was this remember what it's called?
In motion.
In Motion Fitness. It's like you'd go in there and they would kind of just like stretch like pretty much everything on you, and it was a super cool place.
Yeah, Doug Glover out of In Motion was great. You know, he
Like after football games, it'd be nice just to go there, have them just like stretch your hamstrings, quads, everything. And I'm kind of looking for that out here too.
yeah, pure injury prevention place. And then chiropractor, we had Dr. McIntyre out in South Carolina, McIntyre Chiropractic. He was great. You know, he kept him in balance, like he kept him balanced perfectly, hips in line, everything, you know, so to prevent injury basically, you know. And so when we just moved out here, say, you know, I think it was like 6 months ago now, um, it's kind of hard to kind of find everybody and everything that you need, but it's been coming along great. You know, we found Chris, we found Les
really good
Spellman, we
strength
found Dylan. You know, we found some really, really good guys so far to kind of keep him going towards his path.
So currently, just give us a little update on what your recruiting has been like, what schools have been recruiting you, and what dream schools were you thinking of attending to play football?
So the dream schools kind of would be USC. Always is a big school, and I love the atmosphere there. It's super cool. Penn State also I've kind of grown almost like kind of there. Like it's really nice. Notre Dame, obviously, for the Fighting Irish is super cool. Playing in the cold, and then Clemson also would be nice. So like kind of it's more like back home almost. I've lived a couple years in South Carolina. Clemson would be really nice also.
Or the University of Illinois. That's truly back home.
That's really back home.
We like Penn State because we know a good friend of ours, Blair Thomas, and we actually have a visit there coming up. I think it's April 10th this year. So we'll be traveling there to watch a practice, talk to the coaches, and get to show face, shake some hands.
So I want to say this, and I always say this to Will and his dad in their face, and I always say this to recruits. I say, be careful what you're asking for, and I love what they're asking for because they work, they get after it. But I tell cats, when you're looking at Penn State, when you're looking at USC, when you're looking at Michigan, when you're looking at Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, you're talking about the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. So everybody, when you say I want to go to Penn State, you're talking, I want to be a top 300 recruit in the country. There's no excuses there. So when people tell me I want to go to Penn State, I'm like, well, be careful what you're asking for, because if you want to go to USC, they got the Heisman Trophy winner quarterback for Oklahoma, or Mike Riley or Lincoln Riley, all that. But And this guy's got the ability, but I always tell him I challenge you that. So I tell him that, I tell his dad that, and they do it. They work and they get after it. But understand what you're doing. You're competing against the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. So Penn State, when you say Penn State, I'm thinking of Micah Parsons. I'm thinking of LeVar Arrington. So when you tell me I'm going to Penn State, I expect you to work like that.
Yeah. I'm putting in the work. I'm just developing myself mentally, physically, every day. Just trying to get after it.
Yeah. Stays away from all the bull.
Yeah. I don't do any of that.
Well, he works like that. I'll tell you this. That's what I say. They work like that. But I'm saying you got to work like that and then keep that work going up.
Yeah. Keep going.
There's no days off.
No.
I tell people, Floyd Mayweather, everybody sees LeBron James. LeBron James broke the record. He went to the club, man. He spent $200,000 in the club. LeBron James was probably working out in the morning. You know, Floyd Mayweather, you see the videos, he's boxing. He's over there running in Las Vegas at 2 a.m. You know, a lot of people don't see the grind. And that's what I tell people. You have to see the grind.
Right.
Yeah. It's an everyday thing for him, whether it's recovery or if he's training with a trainer or somebody or the school or with something else. He's always doing 2-a-days. You know,
Just
when he first started, sometimes he'd even be putting the work in with 3-a-days. It's kind of crazy.
Developing myself, trying to push myself to the next level.
Yeah. Back at you.
Yeah. So how's life like been in California, Southern California, since you moved out here? I mean, obviously sunshine and everything all year round. So.
I don't know. The California is a lot different than South Carolina, which I like it a lot. The humidity is really nice over here. South Carolina, after it rains, you got a football practice, can't even breathe.
Yeah.
But running out here is really nice. The sun does beat on you a little hotter than South Carolina, but it makes up for it with that humidity. But it's really nice out here.
Yeah, the weather's great. Atmosphere is good. I like the area, the people. Meeting everybody's perfect. You know, it seems like there's a lot of people out here that, you know, want to have the same goals.
Yeah.
Because we're in the football world right now, you know, we're kind of focusing on that.
Yeah. You good?
Absolutely.
You know, so
what's I know Alexander's had a lot of questions. I was going to ask him what. So people know who you are, and they know what you're doing. What's your how are you going to go to this next year?
So
what am I doing between and I'm not saying not an open-ended question. I tell people that because people go practice. Oh, I work hard. What are you doing specifically between? I'm looking at this. It is March the 6th. You know, it is in April, May, June recruiting season. What am I doing between March the 6th and the start of my sophomore year to be the best and to hit my goals? So those schools call me, they want me, they desire me, and I want to show them I'm the best of the best.
It's so I'm eating right. First, obviously, bringing up to the season, I gotta start eating right, like even more, get leaner, more muscle, less fat. This new season is gonna show them I'm gonna have a really good season, and people are gonna be calling right after this season because I believe in myself in the next level, and I know I put the hard work in, and I believe I'm gonna do really good this season. And I think, like you said, yeah, let's put in the work in, but I am really gonna be putting the work in, getting faster. I need to so I can move a little more, my ankles, everything, kind of getting stronger.
I want to see your swag. I want to see your swag.
Right.
I want to see your swag because if you're
one.
good, if you're good, you got some swag. Because I keep hearing the academic answers. Oh, coach, I keep hearing that, and I love it. You're doing that. I want to see the swag because you're that guy. And if you're that guy, you got to know you that guy. You got to be like, yo, coach, I'm about to outwork these cats. I'm about to kill these cats. Whatever they benching, I'm out benching them. And I'm not gonna tell you the answers, but I'm just saying I want to see that swag because I see it when I work out with you and I train you. Tell them cats.
They're gonna know who Sunshine is. They're gonna know who Sunshine is.
There you go. Don't be scared. If you want to go to USC or Penn State, you can't be scared. You get what I'm saying? Micah Parsons ain't scared.
No, I'm definitely confident in myself with all these people around. I know they could be 20 years old in high school. Don't phase me. I know some of them holdbacks, whatever, don't phase me. I don't care how old they are. I'm strong. I'm built for
Let's
this.
go. Let's go.
Confident.
Yeah, he's 6 foot, 205-pound freshman. Rushed for 1,000 yards last year.
I feel pretty good.
Going
That's
for
right.
another 1,000 yards in Division I now. So, I think as a father, I'm so happy for him. Like, I know he's got a lot of confidence. I think he's going to be a national recruit. So, I think he does too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in myself. But I'm not
Great.
cocky. I'm humble. I know that I can always work to get better, and that I'm not at my full potential yet at all. But I'm really confident in myself.
Yeah, you always got to stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be stepping your fingerprints all over the field for the next 3 years. William and Billy Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on this podcast and really sharing your journey and your insights. So it was a pleasure meeting you last week, and just best of luck in your football journey moving forward.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yep,
you.
thank you. We really appreciate it.
All right, no problem.